Saitama, the main character from the anime One Punch Man, is arguably the strongest superhero that has ever existed. He can defeat any opponent with just one punch. And yet, his secret to becoming the strongest man in the world was not eating special foods, taking supplements, or lifting heavy weights at the gym. In fact, he built his strength with one very simple routine that he repeated every single day. So in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly what that routine was, why it's much easier than you think, and most importantly, how you can use it to level up in every area of your own life. If you guys are ready to begin, let's get into it. And for those of you who are always looking for a reason not to do something, allow me to quote the great Mahatma Gandhi. The difference between the weak and the strong is that the weak say, I can't, but the strong say, it's impossible. At the beginning of the series, we see that Saitama was actually quite weak. In fact, he couldn't even save a cat stuck on a tree. But after 3 solid years of relentless training, he becomes so powerful that no enemy can stand in his way. At first glance, his routine seems pretty basic. 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometers run. But here's the catch. He does this every single day without fail. Through rain or shine, hot or cold, sick or healthy, rich or poor, he commits himself to this routine unconditionally. And since this routine is all he does, it's also all he needs. For example, let's talk about nutrition. There are hundreds of different diets out there: paleo, keto, carnivore, vegan, and the list goes on and on. But guess what? All of these diets work as long as you stick to them consistently. Or let's look at building muscle. If you go to the gym and do 10 sets of 10 reps for every exercise, you'll build muscle. If you do 5 sets of 10 reps, you'll build muscle slower, but still build muscle nonetheless. Same thing goes for fat loss, entrepreneurship, skill acquisition, learning a language, improving your grades, anything and everything that you could possibly imagine. Now, obviously, there is a limit to how far you can take this analogy. If you only do 1 push-up instead of 100, you probably won't build any muscle. But my point is that consistency is by far the most important factor when it comes to reaching your goals. But here's where things get interesting. Most people have trouble sticking to an entire workout routine, let alone a strict training regimen that consists of 300 bodyweight exercises every single day. But this is precisely why Saitama's routine is so genius. It's dead simple. There is literally only one routine that he follows, and he repeats it over and over again every single day. This allows him to reach a state of mindless consistency. Instead of overthinking his training and getting overwhelmed, he just shows up and does the work without question. On top of that, because his routine is so easy to follow, he never gets injured. Sure, there are times where he is completely exhausted and just wants to take a break or maybe watch TV instead. But he pushes through those feelings and sticks to his routine regardless. By doing this, he slowly becomes stronger and stronger until he reaches a level of power that simply cannot be matched. Now, obviously, you might think that Saitama is just a fictional anime character and that his lifestyle is unrealistic for everyday people. But I'd like you to consider this. Is it really so far-fetched to do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometers run every single day for 3 years straight? Of course not. In fact, most of you watching this video can probably do this exact same routine and transform your bodies and minds in ways you never thought possible. But here's the problem. Most people would rather spend hours upon hours at the gym doing fancy bicep curls and tricep extensions instead of the basic fundamental exercises that actually matter. They skip leg day and then complain that their legs don't match their upper body. They neglect their diet and try to find some magic pill that will burn off all their fat while they re-sitting on the couch. And when they can't achieve the body of their dreams, they give up and start blaming other people or circumstances beyond their control. But the truth is, the path to success is not paved with complicated strategies and techniques. It's paved with basic fundamental principles that can be executed consistently. But I understand, while this might sound easy in theory, it's extremely difficult to put into practice. After all, how many of us have made New Year's resolutions only to forget about them by February? Don't worry, I've been in your shoes before, and I know firsthand how hard it is to stay committed and disciplined, especially when no one is watching. That's why I want to share with you a simple trick that helped me become more consistent and motivated. Now, before we dive into this secret, let me ask you a question. What's the one thing that separates winners from losers? If you said money, status, or intelligence, you're only half right. Sure, winners tend to have more of these things than losers, but that's just because they're willing to do what losers aren't, which is this: the ability to sacrifice instant gratification for long-term rewards. Winners understand that while losers want instant gratification, winners are willing to delay gratification. They understand that Rome wasn't built in a day, and that greatness is achieved through small incremental steps taken consistently over time. And that's why I want to introduce you to the best productivity tool that I've ever discovered. So let's take a closer look at what Saitama does every single day. We see that he wakes up early, brushes his teeth, makes breakfast, puts on his iconic yellow jumpsuit, and heads out to train. He finds a nice quiet spot away from people and gets straight to work. He does his push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and runs until he's drenched in sweat. Then he goes back home, takes a shower, eats dinner, and sleeps early. And he does this every single day without fail. Now, at first glance, this may seem like a boring and monotonous routine, but the reality is that it's the perfect recipe for success. Here's why. First, his routine is very straightforward. He knows exactly what to do and when to do it. There's no room for procrastination or distractions. He just shows up and gets to work. Second, his routine is optimized for efficiency. He doesn't waste time doing useless exercises or taking long breaks. He just focuses on the essential activities that help him improve. Third, his routine is designed to be sustainable. He doesn't push himself too hard and risk burning out. He knows how to balance his training with rest and recovery. And fourth, his routine is enjoyable. He finds pleasure in the process of getting stronger and defeating enemies. He doesn't do it because he feels like he has to. This is what makes Saitama's routine so effective and why anyone can follow in his footsteps. To cultivate true grit and determination, you must first master the art of delayed gratification. And that's where our secret comes in. Now, I want you to grab your phone and open up your favorite browser. Then I want you to go to a website called Habit Hub. Once you land on the homepage, I want you to click on the button in the top right corner that says Create Habit. Once you're on the habit creation page, I want you to follow these instructions. First, I want you to choose a habit name. For example, call it Daily Workout or Morning Routine. Then I want you to describe your habit in one sentence. For example, do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10 kilometers run every day. Next, I want you to set a reminder time for when you want to complete your habit every single day. For example, if you want to do your routine at 7 a.m., enter 7 a.m. here. Then I want you to choose the days of the week that you want to repeat this habit. For example, Monday through Sunday. Finally, I want you to click on the blue Save Habit button and add this to your calendar. Every single day your phone will remind you to complete your daily routine. And if you stick to it consistently for just 30 days, I promise you'll feel a huge difference in your discipline and motivation. So give it a shot and let me know how it goes in the comments. Now, if you're truly serious about transforming yourself into a disciplined machine like Saitama, I have a special gift for you. It is a video that I created personally that reveals the 5 most powerful lessons from anime that will help you level up in every area of your life. Trust me, this is not something you want to miss. So make sure to check it out. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.